Hey, it's Sam, and I'm speaking today about the ninth house in Vedic Astrology. The ninth house is related to teachings that come from above. It's the house of our gurus and our higher wisdom. And we get this higher wisdom after we go through the turmoil, uncertainty, insecurity, and literal death in the 8th house. So those deaths in the 8th house, those changes, transformations, and keyword, things we can't control in the 8th house lead us to a higher answer in the 9th. At least it should, and it does, and I'll explain how. So, the illusion of life is that we're in control. This is the biggest illusion. And when I was talking about all of the shocks, the shocking realization in the 8th house, it's basically the shocking realization that we have no control. You have no control over life. You have enormous control over yourself and your own consciousness and your own mind. In fact, that's all you have control over. Even Holocaust victims have control over their mind. It was Viktor Frankl who said in the book, I think it was Man's Quest for Meaning, I think it was, that the last freedom man has is control over his own mind. They can take everything from you, but they can't take that. And what this means is that in every other way, we have no control. And we realize that, or at least we need to realize that. And we realize it in the 8th house, especially in the shocking events that take away those structures that we think, okay, I got this, okay, this is real, it's actually really in my life, it's really me, I'm always going to have it, whew, now I can relax. And it's usually something tied up in other people in the 7th house. And then that other person is a total chaos, and they completely cheat, lie, do something, and we realize I have no control over that either. What is there to do? If my last hope, my last big illusion, which is other people, even they're going to forsake me, then what else is there? Well, and again, we get that awareness of even other people are going to forsake me because there's going to be shocking, scandalous lies, deceptions, and just flat out death is enough. Because again, we have this illusion that, oh, they'll live forever, oh, they'll live forever, I'll live forever, we'll all live forever. And no one does. And so again, we understand it intellectually, but we don't really get it until we experience death. The death of a situation, the death of a person, the change and transformation against our will, because that's what the 8th house changes and transformations are. It's the changes and transformations that are against our will, that we will resist. It's the change we resist. And those changes that we resist lead us first on a great pursuit of the deeper mysteries of life in the 8th house, and then we get an answer in the 9th house. Now, it's not always a great answer. You want to understand, the 9th house is just your philosophies, your principles, what you believe in. What you believe and how those things form your principles and your philosophies. It could be religion. That's definitely a 9th house thing. But it's not just religion, it's whatever you believe. People say, well, I'm spiritual, but I'm not religious. And then they go to tell you what they believe. It doesn't really matter. Your beliefs are the 9th house. Your beliefs might be a religion. Your beliefs might be that, all the Jews need to be exterminated. Your beliefs might be, everybody, he who gets the most toys wins. Your beliefs might be, we're all in it together and let's evolve toward higher consciousness, and we're not of this earth, we're not of this body. That might be your belief. Your belief might be, we need to keep all the bad people out, or whatever. They're all beliefs. And they have different levels. We all have beliefs about things as well. We all have a belief about money. We have a belief about whatever. So people who have a lot of philosophies and beliefs and principles, which come as a result, which come after the beliefs, usually have a lot of ninth house energy. And the ninth house ruler shows the nature of someone's beliefs. And of course, Jupiter is the indicator of ninth house things. He's like the karaka of the ninth house subjects. So these beliefs come after we face that crisis of the 8th house, that lack of control, that lack of understanding, and then that need for an answer. So the 8th house, it really sends us on a journey through the rest of the houses. That's why it's a big transformational point, that moksha point, that liberation point. And again, it's the liberation from others is the 8th house, from the illusion of others, the liberation from the attachment to others. Liberation from the 7th house is the 8th house, and then that we experience that in the form of a loss of control, and that leads us to seek a higher meaning and purpose beyond all of this. And that sets forth those last 4 houses. Like I said, we have those first 4 houses, which is where we work on ourselves. Houses 1 through 4. Houses 5 through 8 are with other people. 5th house of children, 6th house of service to people, 7th house is our deep desires and interactions, and then 8th house is destroying that illusion that, oh yes, other people are going to be my savior. Houses 1 through 4 is, I can do it by myself. I don't need anybody. That's houses 1 through 4. Houses 5 through 8 is, actually, if I want to be happy and I want to feel complete within myself, I need other people. So, okay, I'll put a lot of attention there. And then 8th house destroys that and says, oh, that's not it either. Oh my God, now what? Well, better turn to God. Houses 9 through 12 is that section. And so the 9th house is the dharma of our connection with, with our higher connection. Again, that's why I said houses 1, 5, and 9 are the dharma houses. 1 is the dharma of yourself through your truthful experiences. 5th is the dharma of other people, which we experience through children and our heart's desire, our romantic partners, and showing up in love and beauty. 9th house is the truth of our relationship with the universe and the cosmos. And that takes the form of teachings, higher purpose, higher wisdom, and higher awareness beyond just the things of this world, and mainly beyond the people of this world, as I said. What lies in between that, what lies between the people, the 7th house attachments, and our gurus and teachers and higher philosophies of the 9th house is the destruction, catastrophe, uncontrolled breaks and changes in the 8th. So the 9th house really shows us the truth of life, the need to connect with teachings and teachers that are bigger than just our own small mind. Many people in this world now, we have a huge crisis of 9th house stuff, I'll just say, because we're very much a 3rd house type of world now, and houses work opposite each other. Opposite the 9th house is the 3rd house. 3rd house of our own desires, what I want for myself, my own ideas. I can figure things out for myself, my own opinions based on what I've done. We have a lot of that. I can do it. I don't need a teacher. This whole idea that if we have a guru and a teacher, it somehow subjugates our intelligence. It's somehow a form of like mental enslavement. There's a lot of illusion around this because religion, per se, organized religion, has been exploited for so many thousands of years. This relationship with guru, for example, and teacher is misunderstood. But once we start to really evolve and get real, we understand that we need a teacher of some sort. And it's not just spiritual teachers and religious teachers. It's teachers that teach us all kinds of things. Like, you know, many people call me guru because I teach them astrology. That's one kind of teacher. There are other kinds of teachers, again, like the Sat Guru is the one that teaches you Sat about the meaning of life. So I have a Sat Guru, Amachi, the hugging saint from India. I make no mistakes or no illusions that I'm one of those kind of teachers. Anybody tries to project it onto me, I'm like, no, no, no. I teach astrology. But that's ninth house, and so that inspires people from that point. And astrology is such a great teaching that it can put our life in a perspective, a higher perspective that helps us to understand why we're here. And that's what our quest for meaning, that's where our quest for meaning begins, really, is in the ninth house. It actually begins at the end of the eighth house, when our attempts to try to make this world work fail miserably. That's the eighth house, really. When our attempt to try to turn this world into our little playground for eternity just doesn't work out. Other people, at best, we're going to like half of them. I mean, like, through our ego. Once we're involved through the ego with people, there's attractions, aversions, all this stuff, and the catastrophe and the destruction of our illusion of other people. That's the eighth house. That's the real thing that we need to evolve. Is the destruction of that illusion. So, you know, sometimes people don't like when I say things like our freedom from people, and some people think I sound kind of bitter and cynical, like, about other people. I don't know, it might be a little bit of truth to it. It's not bitter and cynical about people per se. It's such an illusion. There's such an expectation, and I say this too, even with astrology students, like looking at, let's say even just looking at the chart, that, well, that shows they're going to get a happy marriage, so that's good, that's good, that's good. We tend to bring so much judgment onto things. Like, there's nothing good or bad about having a good relationship as far as your spirituality is concerned, honestly. It is to some extent, but look at someone like a Swami or a monk who never wanted that. They are some of the most spiritual people you'll ever meet, and they don't have the attachment and the judgment and the projection that other people, that our life is supposed to revolve around that. And this is why I say, for 99.9% of us, all of our life energy gets tied up in trying to make the world of other people work out somehow. Not just romantic partners, but family and everybody else. And the eighth house destroys that. And it's not until that illusion gets destroyed, not the people. And again, this is what we need to learn in the eighth house, is not to destroy the people because we're angry at them for disappointing us, but we need to destroy our illusions and our projections. And they get destroyed in the eighth and lead us to greater teaching and wisdom in the ninth. Or they lead us to some kind of teaching and wisdom, and even to our crazy ego, it's a greater teaching. At least it's some answer. Look at how your teachings have evolved. You know, look at how your quest for meaning and purpose has evolved over your lifetime. It's probably gotten to something much more pure than it's ever been now, but think about what it was when you first started getting your heart broken and your illusions shattered. Or maybe your illusions aren't even close to being shattered yet, in which case you're still working through a lot of it. So, you know, what'll happen in that point is then you'll find gurus, and this is the other thing to understand about the ninth house and this whole evolution of our principles, is we find gurus that align with our ideas. You know, this is why one of the things that I make sure of to do, even in my videos and everything else, is to be real and to be honest. Because I only want people to listen to I only want people in my courses or that pay attention to what I'm doing to really understand where I stand. The point is that the people that are interested in what I have to say resonate with what I say, and they're repelled by the other things. And this is the way gurus are. This is the way we pick our gurus and our teachers. The students that wind up studying with me really strongly resonate with what I'm saying. So I only want those kind of students because if I'm going to work deeply with them, I don't want them to like get angry at half the stuff I say and want to argue with me. No. So you have to be authentic, and you'll find that when you're authentic in your teachings, the guru shows up. When you're ready in your life for a certain kind of teaching and a certain kind of inspiration and wisdom, a teacher will show up because you will find them. And it's not even just a mystical thing, it's just because we're always looking for what we need. And we don't even look for the teacher until we realize we need it. And then we find the one we're looking for. Because I'm not the teacher for everybody. There's many people who are like, oh, he's too dark, or he's so blah blah, that's not my teacher, this one's my teacher. And that's great. So you have to understand that what happens is when the 8th house destroys our illusions around certain things, this destruction of illusion makes us look for an answer. And again, this is why sometimes the answer might be, oh, the problem is, you know, all these black people are taking our jobs, and it was better when it was all white people. That's destroyed our race and our country. Maybe that's a kind of creeping feeling that you had, and if you lose your job to a person of color, and you kind of have that feeling, you'll gravitate toward a teacher who affirms that, as an example. And I'm using dark teachings to provide contrast because, again, too often in astrology, things get put in these categories of good and bad. Oh, the 9th house, that's a good one. It's a good one. You got to get out of that thinking. It's the philosophies we have. Philosophies are not always good. Okay? They're not always good. They're whatever our philosophy is. Now they evolve. Everything is in a process of evolution. And we've all evolved the things that have inspired us in a more pure way. For example, even things like many people's early inspirations and early teachers are like celebrities and musicians and rock stars and, idolizing. Look, we even use the same words, like an idol. Was it what? American Idol. Or we idolize entertainers when we're younger. As we get older, we start to idolize teachers because we prioritize different things. When we're younger, we prioritize excitement and fame and beauty, and movie stars and music stars inspire us. As we get older and life shows us a deeper meaning, our inspirations change. But you want to understand that musicians and entertainers and those people, they also fall in that 9th house category to some extent, to a large extent. At least the projection onto them as being an inspiring figure that guides us towards something higher. This is why, over time they can also sort of, fall off their pedestal. But most people who are into like astrology and all this, many of them also have a deep love of some kind of entertainment, or I know a few astrologers that really love movies and movie stars. Many are into music, and they really love, because when they were younger, that's what inspired them. So you'll see that a person with a powerful 9th house is always looking to be inspired. They're looking for the higher meaning and purpose behind things when their lack of control and their illusions get shattered. So this one was a little bit longer, but it's a big house and sign, or I'm sorry, a very big house and a very big transformation from the 8th to the 9th house.